Supplements can be a confusing landscape, often filled with trends that prioritize popularity over genuine effectiveness. Many lists you encounter begin with what's trending, rather than what truly impacts your long-term health and well-being. My team and I have meticulously gathered a list of some of the most popular supplements circulating today, and I'm here to cut through the noise. We're going to rank them based on what genuinely moves the needle for longevity and metabolic health, helping you make informed decisions for your body and your future. To help you navigate this often overwhelming world, we've broken down these supplements into 5 clear categories. No-brainer, these are the essentials, supplements everyone should consider. Pretty good, these offer solid benefits and are worth considering for specific needs. Neutral, they likely won't harm you, but their benefits are minimal if any. Overhyped, these are popular but often fall short of their lofty claims. I would not do that. Stay clear of these. They might do more harm than good. Let's dive in and see where your favorite supplements stand. Collagen. Overhyped. Category 4. For years, many of my patients reported improved hair and nails when taking collagen, often describing these changes subjectively. While some studies even suggested it might be better than a placebo, my perspective shifted dramatically when I started measuring their metabolic health, including insulin response and blood sugars. The truth is, for patients with insulin resistance, this powderized molecule often did more harm than good. It triggered a glucose response, which in turn spiked their insulin. The exact opposite of what's needed to enhance longevity. I even considered manufacturing collagen myself, but that's when I discovered issues with sourcing. Quality collagen should come from the overlooked parts of an animal, like bone broth, bone marrow, or the gristle in meat. When you consume collagen from these whole food sources, you don't experience the same insulin spike. So, save your money on powdered collagen supplements. Instead, focus on incorporating nutrient-rich animal parts into your diet. Methylene blue. Pretty good. Category 2. Initially, I approached methylene blue with skepticism, dismissing it as junk science. However, after delving into the research, I was genuinely surprised. This molecule has existed for a very long time, and because it's off patent, much of its supporting research is not widely publicized. My favorite unexpected benefit while experimenting with it was its effect on mosquito bites. Living in Florida, where mosquitoes are a constant nuisance, I found that taking methylene blue significantly reduced my bites, and there's a scientific basis for this. Methylene blue was originally used for its anti-malarial properties, effectively killing the parasite that causes malaria. It also demonstrated similar effects against various viruses and parasites, earning it the nickname Magic Pill. Beyond its fascinating origin, I'm particularly impressed by its impact on brain function. For patients struggling with cognitive issues, even a few droppers of methylene blue have helped activate their brains, leading to greater clarity. What's truly remarkable is its ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and reach the mitochondria, the powerhouses responsible for brain energy, a feat most supplements cannot achieve. I'm still gathering more research on its full potential, but for now, it firmly holds its spot in the pretty good category. Probiotics. I would not do that. Category 5. Overhyped. Category 4, with one exception. Most probiotics deeply frustrate me. Generally, I advise against them, placing them in the I would not do that category, or at best, overhyped. The common understanding is that you're trying to seed your colon with beneficial bacteria. However, when you swallow a probiotic, it first has to survive the stomach's harsh acid, then pass through the small intestine, which is typically sterile and free of microbes. For most products, the bacteria you're consuming are often just particles of microbials that won't effectively colonize your gut. Even worse, if you have existing gut dysfunction, these bugs might establish themselves in the wrong places, like the small intestine. There is one notable exception: pendulum. Their research convinced me of probiotics' potential because they use advanced science to sporulate the bacteria and encapsulate them correctly. This ensures the bugs survive the acid, bypass the small intestine, and are delivered precisely to the large intestine where they are needed. However, I would still never recommend pendulum to a patient with uncontrolled blood sugar. It's a no-brainer only for individuals with inflammatory gut problems who are on a ketogenic journey and have their blood sugar effectively managed. Otherwise, nearly every other probiotic I've encountered remains overhyped. Vitamin D3 with K2, no-brainer, category 1. This combination is an absolute no-brainer. Everyone should be taking it. Vitamin D in particular functions as both a hormone and a vitamin. Both D3 and K2 are fat-soluble and were abundant in our ancestors' diets. Today, however, low vitamin D levels often act as a canary in the coal mine, signaling that your metabolism, especially concerning fat-based molecules, might be struggling. Supplementing with D3 and K2 is something I personally do and recommend for everyone in my family. It's a fundamental step towards better health. Zin, nicotine without tobacco. Pretty good, category 2. Nicotine in its tobacco-free form, like Zin, is surprisingly prevalent. Despite being happily married and my husband using it, I've spent over 2 decades searching for any published research that would definitively tell him not to. My search has been unsuccessful. This places it in the pretty good category because nicotine is a stimulant that crosses the blood-brain barrier, enhancing cognition, lowering blood sugar, and improving metabolism. While it can slightly increase heart rate and blood pressure, these effects are generally mild. The primary drawback is its highly addictive nature, which is why I personally don't use it. However, based on the available evidence, nicotine itself appears to offer certain benefits. Rhino male enhancement, I would not do that. Category 5. Upon hearing about rhino male enhancement, my immediate concern was valid. This product is a prime example of something to absolutely avoid. The FDA has issued warnings revealing that these types of supplements often illegally contain prescription drugs such as sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, without being declared on the label. This poses serious health risks. When the FDA warns against a product, it's a clear signal to stay far away. BHB, beta-hydroxybutyrate, no-brainer, category 1. If you're following a ketogenic diet or even a low-carb approach and desire enhanced brain function, BHB, beta-hydroxybutyrate, is an essential supplement for your shelf. BHB salts allow you to quickly enter a state of ketosis, effectively bridging the gap if you've consumed too many carbohydrates. For my patients with severe insulin resistance, it's been incredibly helpful in kickstarting their metabolic engine. Beyond providing brain and heart fuel, BHB acts as a powerful signaling agent. It influences how your liver produces its own ketones and how cells communicate and divide. I even manufacture this myself because my entire family uses it for peak brain performance. It's a definite no-brainer. Magnesium, no-brainer, category 1. Magnesium is another absolute no-brainer that everyone should be taking. In our modern world, our soil and nutrition often leave us on the verge of magnesium deficiency. For patients adopting a ketogenic diet, the initial weeks often involve significant fluid loss, diuresis, which can deplete magnesium. This depletion commonly leads to symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, low blood pressure, and muscle cramps. Supplementing with magnesium consistently resolves these issues. I take magnesium daily, and when I feel particularly low, I even enjoy a magnesium float, which immerses your body in highly concentrated magnesium water. It's a fantastic way to address many of life's problems and is a fundamental aspect of health. AG1, Athletic Greens, neutral, category 3. While apple cider vinegar itself has some data supporting its ability to lower blood sugar and temporarily alter pH to aid digestion, even that requires a commitment to dietary changes. To consume high-sugar gummies that contain only a minuscule amount of apple cider vinegar is a waste of money and completely overhyped. Zinc, neutral, category 3. Zinc is a mineral I check for in labs, particularly for patients experiencing prolonged fatigue. Often when patients have low zinc levels, it's not because they aren't consuming it, but because their gut isn't absorbing it properly. In these cases, simply supplementing with zinc often misses the root cause. I rate it as neutral because while it won't hurt, the focus should be on improving overall gut health rather than just supplementing. Concentrated green tea extract, 1000 ECGs. I would not do that. Category 5. Highly concentrated green tea extract, particularly at doses like 1000 ECGs, is something I would strongly advise against. This level of stimulant can be toxic, and with any stimulant, the dosage is critical. While green tea itself is beneficial as a mild stimulant, the extremely high concentrations found in these supplements are far beyond what you'd get from drinking a cup of tea. Stay away from this one. Ashwagandha, overhyped, category 4. Ashwagandha falls into the overhyped category. People often seek it for its perceived serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI effects, similar to prescription medications like Prozac. However, over the years, we've learned that addressing symptoms of depression is primarily about optimizing sleep patterns and eliminating processed foods and carbohydrates from the diet. When compared to the potency of generic SSRIs, ashwagandha's effects are minimal, perhaps 1/10 as strong as Prozac. While it's available over the counter, I wouldn't recommend starting an SSRI these days without first fixing diet and sleep. Methylene blue offers a more direct and effective approach for brain support. Therefore, ashwagandha is largely overhyped. Creatine, no-brainer, category 1. Creatine is unequivocally a no-brainer, especially for anyone over the age of 45. The understanding that creatine is solely for bodybuilders has completely shifted. While it certainly aids muscle contractility and pulls water into muscle cells, it also does the same for your brain. The scientific literature overwhelmingly supports its benefits for cognition and even helping with jet lag. I've found almost no negative information on creatine. Unlike many other powdered supplements that can cause an insulin response in insulin-resistant patients, creatine does not seem to affect blood sugar. My patients, even those in their 80s monitored with continuous glucose monitors, show no change in blood sugar when taking creatine. It's one of the very few powdered supplements I consider safe for almost everyone. Glutathione. I would not do that. Category 5. Glutathione is a powerful antioxidant, and I've seen patients even resort to IV labs to receive it intravenously. However, based on my observations, I would not recommend this. While the goal is to neutralize free radicals and recharge ATP, I believe you're playing with a powerful gun here. Unless administered under the direct supervision of a physician, the studies suggest that individuals are likely not receiving the advertised benefits and may even experience side effects from such a potent supplement. Vitamin C, overhyped. Category 4. Vitamin C is definitely overhyped. Many people take large doses, especially when feeling ill, believing it will combat infections or colds. However, if they simply removed carbohydrates from their diet and maintained a state of ketosis, the body could achieve the desired effects of vitamin C with a fraction of the dose. For example, the amount of vitamin C found in liver is sufficient to sustain the body as long as it's not overwhelmed by excessive carbohydrates. To me, relying on high-dose vitamin C is often a quick fix for a problem that should be addressed by a healthier diet. Whey protein, overhyped, category 4. Whey protein, derived from fermented milk, is another supplement I consider overhyped. I strongly recommend getting your protein from whole foods. Patients frequently ask about optimal protein intake, and my advice is always to prioritize protein from natural, unprocessed sources. If you absolutely need a powdered protein, egg white protein is a far better choice than whey, as whey protein often triggers an insulin response in many of my patients. Therefore, I would advise against it. Kratom. I would not do that. Category 5. Kratom is a substance I encountered over a decade ago, long before it became widely available in convenience stores. It's essentially an opiate analog, making it highly addictive. People consume it for a buzz, often found in products marketed as energy drinks. However, its addictive properties are significant, and withdrawal symptoms are comparable to those experienced from opiates like hydrocodone. In fact, some states have even enacted laws against it. This is an absolute I would not do that. Supplements can play a supportive role, but the real foundational work for undoing or preventing metabolic problems lies in your lifestyle and diet. When my own mother was diagnosed with cancer, we didn't just throw supplements at the problem. We did the hard, essential work. To learn more about her story and the deeper steps we took, click here. What is one supplement you've tried that you thought was a no-brainer but turned out to be overhyped for your health? Share your experience in the comments below.